Welcome to Meeple Podcast, Season 4.
Hello everyone, today we have someone special for me. When I meet a friend of a great friend, he automatically becomes another great friend. A character in Carcassonne Central, linkarssonne in BGA. Edouard Dupas, welcome to Meeple Podcast.
Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor.
What brings you here?
The desire to discuss Carcassonne, my passion for this game.
I'd like you to tell the audience where your love of Carcassonne comes from and how it has flowed over time.
I always lived in 1 hour from Carcassonne. I know this city since I was young. It is a place where I have always liked to go. I discovered the game in 2010, first with Hunter and Gatherers spin-off, then the Bass game a little after, and in 2017 I wanted to explore the other expansion spin-off. I love looking for all the pieces in the game, from the rarest games to the goodies and even some very original edition. Over time I was able to build a very large collection which is quite complete. There are photos on my Instagram account. My collection evolved over time.
It's funny that being a collector of the game and dedicating yourself to improving the competitive level of the basic game don't usually go hand in hand. There are those who only play the best game, even if they have flirted with the expansions. And then there are those who dedicated more time to the hobby of collecting as many tiles as possible.
At first I was not at all focused on competitive play, but the opportunity to play national in Carcassonne made me evolve. And finally, I like the two aspects of the game, the collection and the competition. Even if my level is average, I want to improve myself.
Tell me some of your latest purchases and what you are missing.
Over the past few months, I have printed a lot of spin-off and expansion directly onto the official tiles. I have now evolved my connection to unofficial games, expansion, and there are really interesting things like the Mario or Zelda edition. I'm lucky to have a printing company in my city that can do these kind of things, and I try to benefit the community of Central Carcassonne by mutualize the cost to benefit as many people as possible. Recently, I was able to acquire something new, a free Ukrainian edition of Carcassonne. This game are practically not left the country, and thanks to a contact on the country, I was able to obtain this game, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm only looking for very few things that already exist, like the Finnish edition of expansion number 6, which has a different box than other countries. For example, I'm more on the lookout for new things or print existing things.
What do you think of William's crazy and wonderful Carcassonne Museum?
It is crazy. I really admire William's work. At my level, I try to help him as much as possible. Thanks to the Carcassonne community, this kind of thing is possible. And this is something I really appreciate, the connection and help between us.
You went to Essen last year and there you had the opportunity to meet Hector Madrona, Meepledron, Dan Chart, Tom Hill, Willem, Melvin, etc. Without a moment's hesitation, what do you take away from the whole experience there?
Yes, it was awesome. Seeing each other in real life and playing together is always better. I was already in contact for a while with Willem, and thanks to him I was able to meet the rest of the team in Essen. William is someone very special to me. He is always available to discuss and advise. He is naturally sympathetic and he is someone I admire a lot. I thank him for the enormous work he does. In Essen, I was also able to meet Melvin. What about Melvin that everyone already knows? He is wonderful. We can only love him. He is also always available to give me advice, and the work he has done to bring together other countries online for international tournament is just incredible. He will also be welcome in my house to come and discover France and Carcassonne in 2024.
You are preparing a tournament at BGA for Carcassonne Central members. Tell us something about it and what the purpose of this competition is.
Yes, with the agreement of the administrators, I organized a community championship reserved for members of Carcassonne Central called the Carcassonne Central World Cup. This tournament is only an excuse to play and possibly introduce the competitive aspect in BGA to as many people as possible. In not even 2 weeks, we were 32 players registered. This tournament will be interesting because there are good players. I can't wait to see the confrontation. Also, with the help of Hector and Sneewan, there will be commemorative tiles that all players will receive, and the big winner will win a very limited edition of Carcassonne. The Carcassonne Pink is pretty.
Doesn't this pink Carcassonne thing seem a bit crazy to you?
Originally, it was an April Fool's joke by Ensim Gluck, but I wanted to create this physical edition, which I think is perfect for this event.
Do you live near Carcassonne? How do you deal with it? Do you dream about this tourist city or just about the game? And how do you deal with being French and in love with close game, considering that the city of which your favorite game is based is a neighboring city to yours?
I love the city of Carcassonne as much as the game. It's certainly a touristic place, but it's truly magical. I try to go there once or twice a year, and each time I discover new things. I also recommend the night visit. It's even more beautiful with all the lighting. I am very happy that there are no events related to the game directly in the city.
Last year, you visited the anniversary of Carcassonne in Carcassonne. What did you like the most?
The atmosphere was very festive. Many lovers of the game were able to do activities, and including myself with my family. My favorite workshop was the one with Marcel Grober, who was able to draw me on a tile. It's collector. I was also able to chat and discuss with Klaus Jürgen Vried, who took the time to listen to me and signed several games, and it was a big day.
You participated in the French National Championship won by Clément Dupasquier Valvard on BGA, right there at the Carcassonne event in Carcassonne. What can you tell us about that edition?
It was my first Carcassonne tournament, and that forced me to play competitively a little before. I discovered another vision of the game and I loved it. To be able to play in the heart of the city, in the Jean Deschamps Theatre, was magnificent. I was very lucky to participate. I didn't do the performance I wanted, but I will come back later, stronger in the next edition.
Clément is a player of the French online national team. Also Squalus, the captain, and that freak of nature called Vivienne Charlotte, as well as many other players. I suppose you would like to be a member of the French national team. Are you ready to reach it?
Yes, I discovered the French team recently. I tried to qualify to participate in the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship, but at the end they took someone better than me. But I intend to persevere and participate in the next online competition.
Give us your opinion on Viv. Is it normal to argue with your opponents?
I don't really know Viv, only by reputation, good or not. As in sport, emotion can take over and you can get carried away. It happens. But you have to respect opponents and apologize if you go over the line.
Well, Edouard, I don't have so many questions for you today, but I'd like to have another interview with you when we get to know each other better, or maybe in that wonderful space within Meeple podcast that is the Meeple Drones Corner. But before we say goodbye, tell us something that might be interesting to the audience and that you might not want to leave out of this interview.
Oh, yes, with pleasure for the Maple Drones Corner. I may be repeating myself, but what I like in Carcassonne is everything around it. The pleasure of playing with friends, opponents, strangers, sharing and sending games, expansion, and other things from Carcassonne over the world. The city is really beautiful. It's something to see if you like Carcassonne. You won't be disappointed, especially as there are no events about the board game in September. Don't hesitate, and who knows, we might share a game.
Thank you for your presence on the show, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you for the invite. See you soon.
A Carcassonne Hue for the audience.